One of the benefits of working inside of the Cycles rendering engine is it allows us to play around with some glass effects very directly and very accurately. Let's jump in, and I want to make the silliest example I can possibly think of for a glass. And we're going to turn our coffee cup here, zoom in, this guy, entirely into glass, which is going to be pretty cool. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. I'm going to change my rendering engine over into Cycles. You can do transparent effects in Eevee, but the results are always going to look kind of bad, and it's very complex to set up and give really good results. But in Cycles, there's only really 2 channels that we need to adjust. Let's look at them real fast. Let's swap over into Cycles and go ahead and jump into our render preview mode, and this is what we're going to get. I got my coffee cup selected, and let's start by creating a material for the actual glass itself. And I think I want to make everything on my coffee cup glass. Let's just create a new material. We'll call this glass. There we go. All right, and what we're looking for here inside of the principled BSDF shader is the transmission section, this one right here. The default value is 0. If we put this to 1.0, it's going to make this entirely transparent. So transmission equals transparency. Let's just turn it up real fast and go all the way to 100%. And you can see that my coffee cup has kind of gone black, which is not exactly, super desirable, but it's something's changed. Well, why is it black? And if you look more carefully, it's kind of transparent here in the middle, but it's definitely black way down at the bottom. Well, that has everything to do with the roughness values. The roughness values is going to spread the light out across the surface. And the default value of 0.5 or 50% is spreading it out, spreading that reflection out across the surface. It's almost kind of giving us this frosted glass look. However, if we were to put this to 0, now it's going to be entirely reflective, and all of those, it's not going to be softening the reflections. It's actually going to be refracting the light. And you can see here that we're creating some really great glass effect. It's wonderful transparency. If you want to tint your glass, just go up to your base color and start giving it a small little color. Maybe a small little blue or a small little green. So you can have fun with these different varying bits of glass. However, if you decrease the value, if you make it more and more dark, you can see that we're kind of losing that glass feel. When the value is high, white colors are going to reflect all of the colors in its surrounding. So we want to try to keep the base color a good amount of value in here. You can tint the glass as long as the value is at 100. But the moment we start bringing the value down, the darkness down, we're going to start to lose some of the intensity and the immediate read, if you will, on the actual glass effect. Now, this entire thing can and should be done with our environment as well. Inside of let me pause. Excuse me, I'm going to go back into my workbench. Let's travel over into the rest of our room, and we have 2 big windows here. And we can and should apply some glass materials into this environment as well. Let's go ahead and do it real fast. I'm going to go hit the tab key, go into edit mode. And of course, this object doesn't have any materials on it. So let's just create a blank slot. Let's put a new material in there, and we'll call this walls. The first material that you add to any object is going to be applied to all the polygons that are on that object. Well, the room object itself has a number of different features: the walls, the window casings, and the windows. So I'm going to start to create a small little material library here. The second material I'm going to add is going to be the actual glass one. And before we go any further, let's jump into our polygonal selection state. And I'm going to grab all the polygons by hitting the L key as I hover over these islands and grab all of the polygons for the windows. Because in order for us to see out, all of the polygons need to be assigned to the exact same material. Let's do it real fast. Let's assign the selection to our glass material and start the setup by increasing the transmission to 100, the roughness, down to 0. And now if we jump back into our render preview mode, we're starting to see through the window. What's also really cool about this is that we can also see the reflections of the desktops in the window itself. It's dark outside the window because there's no environment in this space, right? If you look at the options here, we're actually showing the scene world environment. There's nothing in the background, so it's just gone gray. Let's load something in real fast. If we go into our scene properties, let's not just have a color in our environment. Let's actually load in an environment texture. And I just happen to have one on my computer. I got this from Polyhaven. It's a pretty cool one. There it is. Isn't that cool? Now we're seeing through the window, but we're also calculating all the reflections of the interior of the room, just like the glass would, which is incredibly cool. I love working with the glass effects inside of Cycles. We're getting some really great illusions pretty fast, and it's a fun way to add a nice little transparent depth to all the objects that have this glass material inside of our scene.